Today's story is about the leader of Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden. On September 11, 2001, at 8:46 a.m., the most devastating attack in American history occurred in New York. An airplane crashed into the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, resulting in the 9/11 attacks that claimed the lives of 2,977 people. As you may know, the 9/11 attacks were orchestrated by Al-Qaeda, an Islamic extremist organization that hijacked 4 airplanes and targeted major U.S. landmarks, including the World Trade Center and the Pentagon. The attacks caused not only tremendous loss of life, but also had a significant impact on the U.S. economy, which in turn affected the global economy. In addition to economic consequences, the 9/11 attacks dramatically shifted societal perceptions of Islam and triggered numerous social ripple effects. Airport security in the U.S. was strengthened, and new laws were enacted. The U.S. government vowed to capture or eliminate everyone involved, and even North Korea, in an unusual move, expressed condolences to the U.S., stepping back from its usual stance. So what exactly is Al-Qaeda? Al-Qaeda is a Sunni jihadist organization. The term jihadist refers to Islamic extremists who engage in militant activities, viewing themselves as participants in jihad, or holy struggle. Jihadism refers to armed struggles under Islamic fundamentalism. Al-Qaeda describes itself as the vanguard leading a global Islamic revolution, with the ultimate goal of uniting the Islamic world under a transnational Islamic caliphate. Their attacks on the U.S. stem from their view of America as the primary enemy of the Islamic world, which they believe obstructs their vision of an Islamic state. However, the 9/11 attacks were not Al-Qaeda's first strike against America. In 1998, Al-Qaeda attacked U.S. embassies in Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, killing hundreds. In 2000, they also attacked the USS Cole, a U.S. Navy destroyer docked in Aden, Yemen, resulting in the deaths of 19 sailors. The founder of Al-Qaeda and the focus of today's video is Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was born on March 10, 1957, in Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. His father, Mohammed bin Laden, was a self-made billionaire who emigrated from Yemen to Saudi Arabia and founded the largest construction company in the Middle East. Due to his close ties with the Saudi royal family, Osama bin Laden grew up in great wealth. His mother, Aliyah Ghanem, was a Syrian woman and Mohammed bin Laden's 10th wife. Osama was the 17th of 52 children born to Mohammed bin Laden's various wives. However, Osama's parents divorced not long after his birth. Aliyah Ghanem, after giving birth to Osama in 1957 and suffering a miscarriage, suddenly demanded a divorce from her husband. Surprisingly, Mohammed bin Laden agreed to the divorce and even introduced Aliyah to her future second husband, Mohammed al-Attas, one of his colleagues. Aliyah remarried Mohammed al-Attas almost immediately after the divorce. While not much information is available about al-Attas, given that he was a close colleague of the billionaire Mohammed bin Laden, it's likely that he was financially well off. Osama bin Laden continued to live a wealthy life, receiving elite education, even after moving into the reconstituted family. He grew up in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia's second-largest city, and attended prestigious private schools, which catered to children of businessmen and royalty. In 1967, when Osama was about 11 years old, his father died in a plane crash, leaving Osama with an enormous inheritance. The estimated inheritance ranged between $25 million and $300 million, which later provided crucial financial support for Osama bin Laden's activities. Interestingly, Osama bin Laden was known to be an introverted student in his school days. He also led a frugal life, avoiding luxury, likely due to the influence of Wahhabism, which he inherited from his father. Wahhabism is a fundamentalist Islamic revival movement that promotes strict adherence to Islamic principles and asceticism. It forms the basis of Saudi Arabia's founding ideology. Up to this point, bin Laden's life might resemble that of a disciplined and influential figure, perhaps someone worthy of admiration. However, Osama bin Laden's radical shift toward extremism began in his university years. In 1976, bin Laden entered King Abdulaziz University and became more deeply immersed in Wahhabism. While bin Laden's exact major is debated, some say economics or business, others say civil engineering. What truly matters is the people he met at university. Bin Laden became associated with radical Islamic scholars like Abdullah Azzam, a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood is an Islamic political movement aimed at establishing a society and government based on Islamic values. Known for its fundamentalism and anti-Western ideology, the group is involved in a wide range of activities, from social welfare to political actions, sometimes resorting to violence. Instead of avoiding such extreme views, bin Laden became more and more influenced by radical Islam as he deepened his interactions with these figures. In a 2018 interview, Osama's mother, Aliyah Ghanem, revealed that her son was radicalized at university after meeting the wrong people, especially members of the Muslim Brotherhood. She said she had never imagined her son would become a jihadist. Bin Laden's involvement in Islamic extremism escalated significantly in 1979 when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. Viewing this as an attack on Islam, bin Laden, at the age of 22, left for Afghanistan to join the Islamic resistance, the Mujahideen. During this time, bin Laden not only participated in combat, but also recruited and trained Arab volunteers and provided them with financial support. His dedication and bravery boosted his reputation as a leader. In 1988, using the database of volunteers he had recruited during the Afghan War, bin Laden founded Al-Qaeda, which means the base. Initially, Al-Qaeda was just a logistical network supporting Muslim fighters during the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, with no clear organizational goal. However, after the Soviets withdrew and the Gulf War erupted in 1990, bin Laden grew increasingly enraged when the U.S. stationed troops in Saudi Arabia, viewing it as a desecration of Islamic holy lands. His anger escalated into hatred, and that hatred justified violent actions. From this point, Al-Qaeda shifted its focus toward attacking the U.S. and the West. Bin Laden's wealth, which he had inherited as a child and from his family's construction company as an adult, played a crucial role in building and expanding his network. Without his financial resources, Al-Qaeda would not have grown so quickly. Al-Qaeda's first attack under bin Laden's leadership took place on December 29, 1992, targeting the Movenpick and Gold Mohur hotels in Aden, Yemen, where U.S. troops stayed while en route to Somalia for a humanitarian mission. While no U.S. soldiers were killed, 2 non-military personnel, an Australian tourist and a Yemeni hotel worker, lost their lives, marking a clear escalation of bin Laden's violent strategies. This attack set the stage for more significant operations, including the 1998 U.S. Embassy bombings in Kenya and Tanzania, the 2000 bombing of the USS Cole, and finally, the 9/11 attacks in 2001. The economic impact of 9/11 was staggering. New York City's GDP decreased by approximately $30.3 billion from the fourth quarter of 2001 through 2002, with around 430,000 jobs lost. The city's tourism industry plummeted, and the stock market took a massive hit. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York estimated total economic losses at between $33 billion and $36 billion. In response, then U.S. President George W. Bush declared bin Laden an enemy of the world, launching a massive effort to capture or kill him. From October 7, 2001, U.S. and allied forces invaded Afghanistan, toppling the Taliban regime and beginning operations to dismantle Al-Qaeda. Bin Laden had sworn loyalty to the Taliban leader, Mullah Omar, and in December 2001, he reportedly fled to the Tora Bora Mountains in Afghanistan. When the U.S. demanded that the Taliban hand over bin Laden and Al-Qaeda leaders, the Taliban refused, allowing bin Laden to escape to Pakistan. From 2002 to 2010, bin Laden's whereabouts remained largely unknown. His daily life, movements, and contacts were shrouded in secrecy, and very few people knew his exact location. In 2011, under President Obama, the CIA led a special operation known as Operation Neptune Spear. On May 2, 2011, U.S. Navy SEAL Team 6, DevGru, raided bin Laden's compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, and after a brief firefight, bin Laden was killed. Interestingly, to locate bin Laden, the CIA launched a real polio vaccination campaign in Pakistan, using it as a cover to secretly collect DNA samples. By tracking the DNA of bin Laden's children, they eventually pinpointed his location. One of the major challenges in carrying out the operation was that bin Laden's hideout was located near Pakistani military leadership, making airstrikes too risky. The U.S. had no choice but to send in ground forces, and President Obama ordered the elite SEAL Team 6 to conduct the raid. On May 1, 2011 at 11:35 p.m., President Obama officially announced the death of Osama bin Laden, bringing an end to America's decade-long manhunt. Following his death, the bin Laden family severed all ties with Osama, even going so far as to disown him officially. His family also cooperated with international authorities to help capture him, making it clear that they did not support his extremist actions. Osama bin Laden's mother, Aliyah Ghanem, lamented that her son's radicalization began at university. After meeting individuals like Abdullah Azzam, one can't help but wonder how history might have unfolded if bin Laden had never met those people. That's it for today's story on Osama bin Laden.